So welcome everyone. Great to be here again after 2 weeks where we had a better host than me, Ayo, who's now retiring for some reason. And yeah, great to have you in this town hall, the last town hall of the year, if I'm correct. So definitely nostalgic, but definitely good for us to have a break and think about the year. It's okay, you can move forward. Perfect. Yeah, all right. So we come here today with a little presentation about deep funding, just to put everyone in context. If you're watching for the first time here in the town hall, if you're new to, let me tell you a little bit about what is deep funding, what we do here in this presentation. Please go back. That's too much, too much fun. Thank you. And then we have the hackathon. Hackathon, the summary of the hackathon, the experiences from this hackathon that we had here in Deep Funding. Really excited to hear about that. Really do have a lot of questions, Judith, so I hope you're ready. And we have also the presentation of Anthony, who hopefully will be able to have a better connection this time and really understand about his exciting project. And then we'll have some fun activities. It's the last town hall of the year, so we thought about doing something different, doing something with the community. So let's see what you guys think and if you enjoy it. Now you can move forward. Hey, yo. So what is Deep Funding? Well, Deep Funding is a decentralized grants program that is tasked with the responsibility of funding projects and initiatives that are beneficial to SingularityNET. And SingularityNet's goal is to create a democratic, decentralized, and beneficial AGI. And who can participate in deep funding? Who can be part of the community? Well, basically everyone. I think all we ask from you, or all we like from our community, is to be open, creative, willing to collaborate, and of course, a little kind to each other so that we can. So basically, what is important to know about Deep Funding is that we are a community-run program, and you can participate in many ways. You can make your own proposals for rounds, now for RFPs. So you have a lot of opportunities you can enjoy, proposals to reach our mission, of course, but you can also vote for the best projects. You can participate in the process of reviewing these projects, of giving them feedback on how they could improve and come better in next rounds. You can be part of these discussions and really get engaged into this decentralized grants program and help us find the best way to be an efficient or an impactful decentralized grants program. And you can, of course, participate in the circles. This program is governed by community members like me, like many of us here that are just community members doing specific actions for the fund to work well. Actions such as marketing, such as reviewing proposals, such as doing events like this one. So you do have a lot of opportunities to explore. And as for this space, this town hall, it's for you, it's for the community, for us to gather together, discuss everything related to deep funding, and also an awesome place to learn, to ask questions, and to talk to the community. And if you have anything you want to present, please, this is the space for you. We welcome presentations about anything related to deep funding, about the initiatives you think are important, about the projects, or even wider, if we can try to have some content on SingularityNET or beneficial AGI, that would be welcome. So if you have any ideas, please don't be shy. We'd love to hear you and would love to discuss these important topics. And now maybe let's ask Jan and Rafael if they have anything they would like to share before we move ahead.
Nothing from
No
me.
sharing.
Victor.
Yeah. Well, I would like to again.
Why do we have a Victor?
Ah,
Victor
Yeah.
Knoxville.
it's a nice name. It's a nice name. I like. So yeah. Well, I would like to ask you all to invite your peers, colleagues, even family, if it's the case, to join our community. It can be through the circle members process. You can go to the community.deepfunding.ai portal, go to the all circles, and you'll find a lot of all of our circles and how to participate into these initiatives, which are very nice, fun to work with, and will also contribute ultimately with the goal and vision and mission of SingularityNET. So it has a purpose behind it as well. And also to be more in contact with us here. I know the end of the year is coming, but soon we are going to be releasing the new rules for round 5. Okay, some people have reached out to me in order to request, for instance, like Cardoso here, to give the start on the education around it, but also others that want to apply. We are still in the final minutia of it. Perhaps some additional changes at this last minute, but you will all be aware. We are going to announce soon if we are going to have some changes in it besides those that we voted in the town hall. Okay, so keep tuned again, and soon we are going to be releasing more of it. And that's it on my side. Thank you, Rafael.
Well, you're making us curious for sure. Can I ask you a quick question? Is there too many changes compared to what we are discussing before for the changes of Deep Funding Round 5? Or no?
Those changes are still, but the first one, which would be the number of pools, okay? We are still discussing with SNET, but as now, we are going to keep with the changes that were voted. We are just seeing the process if it's going to be needed or interesting to have it. But everything is going towards that we are going to stay as we voted. As you know, we had to, but I'm not going to say anymore because otherwise I will be answering the quiz question for now.
Oh,
I'm going to shut.
No
there
worries.
is a question about what I was about to say, not talking anymore.
Everyone has seen the answers. Everyone has seen the answers already. I'm joking. All right, great. So thank you, Rafael, for the update. Thank you for, I guess, making us a little bit curious about what is to come. And it's not that far away after the holidays. I guess it's already January, so it's close. It's close. Time goes by fast. Well, I would say maybe if Judith doesn't mind, we could start with Anthony just to see if he has good network and to give him a little bit of time in case he doesn't to try to figure it out afterwards. Anthony, would you like to start with your presentation?
Yes, I can. I can start now.
Awesome. Hey, yo, I don't know if you're the host, but if you are, please give permission to Anthony for him to be able to share.
Yeah, he has it now.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so as I was saying last week, our project is basically a payment gateway, just an ASI payment gateway, just the ideation phase of the whole thing. So we just did normal research when you want to build an MVP or build out a product, just the regular research you make. This was our methodology here. And yeah, so last week I was trying to explain the connection with the whole thing. Like this kind of stuff is usually sits or is supposed to sit on the AI marketplace and interface, basically connect with something like the multi-party escrows, and just to get that decentralized whole thing covered. It will probably sit on the AI marketplace, and the payments will be handled by the multi-party escrow. Then the builder of the SaaS product, or the person that wants to make use of the gateway, will then connect to this instead. It just to like reduce the complexity a little bit. So this is like the process flow we used to prepare the report, took surveys, data collection. Then we created user persona. That's for the for the payment gateway. That's the SaaS product owner. Yeah. And just a little more market research. And basically did some other research on it. And here is the architecture. And okay, the image is supposed to come up now. Okay, something like this. It's very basic, but this just gives like the general idea of how it will look like. And that's just it basically. Let me see. Then also, yeah, the last meeting, I didn't hear Jan's contribution. That's your input on the whole thing. You said a lot, but I honestly didn't hear. That's exactly why I even wanted to come back so I can listen to what you said. Then also need survey responses. Just any input to be very much needed. Here is a link to the survey. It's on the page titled Survey Response Analysis. I'll drop a link to this presentation right now in the group. Yeah. Yeah, and then the landing page. Yeah, I heard Jan's comment on the landing page. Yeah, that's it basically. So the whole idea is to just reduce the complexity of collecting payments in crypto. So this will sit on the AI marketplace and just shield the SaaS product owner from all the complexities of connecting directly to the marketplace. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. So basically with this research, what you're trying to do is to see how to create a way for people to pay with the ASI token, or is it with any token in Cardano and Ethereum?
Yes, I specifically, yeah.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, Anthony, thank you for the presentation. Well done, nicely laid out and very quickly also. So very good work. As it stands, you might be passed by. How do we? That's a Dutch saying. Passed by reality. Reality is advancing on the ASI level and also on this particular thing. And just 1 or 2 days ago, I learned that there are now in-depth discussions going on ASI level, so with Fetch and Ocean, Kudos, etc., on payment and billing and what provider. So that is really recent. Also related to topics like SSID and KYC. And I don't want to go too deep into that right now. And I don't know enough about what's going on there. Another thing is that at the beginning of this year, we were actually on the verge of implementing something called Banksa. I'm not sure if you happen to encounter that in your research. What that would do is enable people that want to pay in fiat, for instance, and then have it transacted to ASI or FAT or whatever. Well, actually not whatever, that's something we need to define. We could have implemented that in the SingularityNET side, but also in Deep Funding website, would allow people to make payments in fiat and then have it transferred. Actually, that can already be done on the platform with PayPal, but that's like the best kept secret, but it is already possible. But also the other way around. If you as an awarded team would get paid in HIX or FAT, then with that Banksa plugin or whatever, you would be able to have that not only converted to another token, but even sent to a regular bank account in fiat. So that would make the whole operation of payments and deep funding much more seamless. So this is something that is still we might still integrate. The reason that it wasn't done is because ASI happened. So suddenly our token was AGIX, but was going to be ASI, and now we are stuck halfway with FAT until the transfer is completed. The things that I heard about it is that we will continue with the Banxa. We want to continue with the Banxa integration, whether or not, because we don't know exactly when FED will be transferred to ASI. So, or another thing. So Banxa is the one that I think we are working on. But yeah, for me, I think it's a huge pity that we weren't able to do that. I think in May or something this year, we would otherwise have to have done it before the summer, because I think it would have been a great help. Also, as a portal to staking or to and I suppose also to the escrow, like you're proposing here. So yeah, sometimes this happens that we get a proposal from a team, and then in at the same time internally things are happening as well, and there's some overlap. So that seems to be the case here as well. If you want and if you're interested, I can share your presentation, the link to your presentation or your project with some people that are working on this. My expectation, to be honest, is that they are already quite far ahead, and yeah, with these discussions with these other partners as well, it won't be that easy to get in between there. But if you want, I can just share the link and see if anything will come out of it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. I also have a question also. Thank you, Jan. Yeah.
Yeah,
I also have a question.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we align those that successfully completed the ideation project with the next funding round? Like, say, for instance, you did an ideation in round 4, but in round 5, your project does not specifically fit into the requirements of the RFP and all that. Like the RFPs in the next round are specific, and the rules and everything. Like, what if your project in ideation does not fit in any of the categories of the next round?
Do you want to answer this, Rafael?
Yeah, exactly. The question is for Rafael.
Sure, Oliko. Okay. Well, first of all, for you to join the ideation pool at first place, your project has to have the foresight of going to the new services pool in the upcoming rounds. RFPs are not the thing. Okay, it might coincidentally fit into it, but it's not the process that we envision here. However, for a new service, yes, that's the case. If by any reason, I'm not sure if you are talking about your project or another project, if by any reason this project of ideation doesn't fit in the new service pool, then it was a misconception during the process of assessing your proposal, because it should be the case, and it's specified pretty clear in the rules that for joining the ideation pool, you have to have this goal of submitting your project in the next round. Is that the case? Are you talking about the project that you just showed?
No, I'm not. I just want to know if the next round will deviate that much in terms of requirements and specifications. That means the answer is no. It won't be far more different.
We are keeping the new services, new AI services pool, so it shouldn't be a problem for any ideation project.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted.
Yeah.
No problem. A small nuance here, which might got lost, but maybe you did mention it, Rafael. But an ideation project, as Rafael pointed out, the idea is that the ideation project in the next round will evolve into an actual project. However, if part of the ideation would be, for instance, marketing research or technical research, and the outcome of that research would be, well, this is not a feasible project for whatever reason, then I would say your ideation project still is successful. because it saved you a lot of effort and it saved Deep Funding a lot of capital because you did your research and it turned out that in this particular case, it wasn't a suitable thing. So no harm done. But the intention should be there to make it into a project in the next round. And in this particular case, Anthony, yeah, if it turns out that SingularityNET is already working on such a payment integration, then maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense to have an alternative payment solution developed separately. And there's another thing here, Rafael. This payment solution wouldn't be an AI service. It would be more in the tooling pool. And indeed, Anthony, we don't have the tooling pool anymore in the next round. Because indeed here, those kind of things we would like to transition to an RFP. So in this case, imagine that we wouldn't have this internal project for payment and billing, etc., and that those kind of integrations. Then we might get inspired by your proposal and say, well, let's just make an RFP out of it. And in the future, hopefully not too long, but in beginning of Q2 or something maybe, I hope we have the community-driven RFP process, the RFP create process, where indeed you could propose such an RFP. So it changes a little bit. The whole intention idea behind it is still the same. But yeah, valid question. I hope we have answered it. Oh, Victor.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Well, then is the ideation pool. It's exactly as Ian mentioned it, very well put it, that it's about for you to understand if it's feasible or not, and etc. But it's also under the path for you to discover how you can get your idea and transform into an AI services that can be onboarded on our marketplace. Sometimes people focus too much on the technical process, but the ideation pool can also be used to research on, I have the idea, the general idea of creating this ASI payment, but how could I onboard this service as a service, AI service on the marketplace? Then you are going to be able to receive the fund to have this research done and transform your idea in the proper service that can be submitted in the next stage, right? This shows that the ideation pool still needs to be better explained, and we should give more examples of it, use cases on how people should be addressing this. Because even if we had the tooling pool, ideation was never about going to other pool than the AI. Of course, you could get and put there if you didn't find a way of doing it, of transforming an AI service. But it's the main goal is to go into the AI service pool, new service pool. Okay. But nevertheless, it was a very nice work, and I hope you managed to connect with ASI people and give some inputs as well, insights, and perhaps why not join the effort somehow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for your response. Yeah,
I would say
not easy, not promising.
I would say, Anthony, just a quick question: what do you think are the main takeaways from your research?
Like so many AI projects are popping up left and right, and payments is really an issue. And it just occurred to me that even the multi-party escrow system, that whole stuff is a little bit on the technical side. So in a way, I needed it for my own service to begin with, for my own AI service. So I was like, maybe there needs to be something to reduce the complexity of connecting to something like the multi-party escrow, Cardano, Ethereum, like something in the middle between the SaaS product owner and the AI marketplace. Maybe like something like this, my tool will stand in between the SaaS product owner and the decentralized part, the AI marketplace part, basically. So this tool will connect to the AI marketplace, while the SaaS product owner will connect to this tool. Meaning this tool will be very much easier than connecting to and that's in processing payments using an escrow, something like that. Did I explain it properly?
Yeah, I think you explained the challenges well and why you built it and how it could be useful to many people, definitely. I guess especially because payments are an important part, right? How they're going to be flexible for the different needs of different people, right?
Yeah.
Anthony, let me know on Mattermost if you want me to share your research with the internal team and how you would like me to share it, whether with this presentation or just with the link on the platform, or if you'd rather not have it shared.
Yeah. No, I'd rather not have it shared. I've listened to your explanation and it makes sense and everything.
Great. That would be very useful. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, big thank you, Anthony, for coming here, for showing us your proposal, what you did, what you delivered. I think it was amazing. So big thanks to you. That's really important. Also important for all of us in the community to know what's been done and what research and projects we can leverage, and that we don't need to basically redo them because someone has already done it. So thank you, Anthony, for that. And now let's learn more about the hackathon and the whole process and how it went. And for that, we have Judith. Welcome.
Thank you. Absolutely. The first Deep Funding Hackathon is officially completed. We had 10 teams from over 12 countries building for 1.5 weeks in this hackathon. And the challenge was to build on top of an already existing service on the SingularityNET marketplace. And the idea here was to really highlight the usefulness of the services that we already have on the marketplace and show that those services have an incredible real world application. So the service that we chose for this first challenge, this first hackathon, was Fortrex Risk Aware Assessment Service. So last Friday, we had the grand hackathon finale where all teams presented the solutions they had built, and we also simultaneously announced the winners. 7 out of teams have made it out to the finish line, and for this first hackathon we had $10,000 in HIX and prizes, which were divided between the 3 teams. I'm sure you might want to know who the winners were, so I'll share it with you. In 3rd place we had Team Polymaker, who built a market prediction solution. In 2nd place, we had Team Weather Chief, who built a weather prediction model. And the 1st place was AIX Market Analyzer, who built a solution to evaluate the growth and potential of AI crypto tokens. Very interesting. And in addition to that, we also gave out $1,000 for the solution with the best user interface, and the winner here was Team Ragatui. So again, congratulations to all the winning teams. The winning projects were incredibly high quality. Actually, all of the projects were high quality, and all of them highlighted how valuable Fortrex Risk Aware Assessment Service really is. So again, a big thank you to everyone who joined and supported the hackathon, either by joining the hackathon, promoting it, or attending the finale. Obviously, also a very big thank you to the hackathon organizing team. We had Andrea, Ubio, Ishan, Riyad, Ron, and myself as the organizers. Despite all challenges, it was a lot of fun. It was a big success. I would call it a big success. And we are most certain that this was not the last hackathon, and the next one will follow soon, and it's going to be an even bigger and better version of it.
Oh, already have questions. Awesome. Thank you. I also have some questions, but I'll let Victor, I guess, go first. I think we figured out the problem of the name.
Yeah.
Now it's the
It's
problem between you and Victor.
it's because Victor is the operation circle. That's why. So it's practically one, only one. Judith, Ishan as well. I saw Ishan here. I'm not sure if we have others from that circle. Amazing work. Thank you for doing that. Not only from the perspective of the hackathon itself, but also as a proof that decentralized circles approach are valid and totally totally valid. So you were the living proof of that this works, right? On the other hand, not on the other hand, no, but I would like to know from you, because I see the hackathons as a great door for the rounds itself, at least the AI services, because as you might know, the rounds, the grants that we award, they are also allowed to be given to services that consumes or products that consumes API calls from our platform, from other services. So if we have in the hackathon a lot of services or products or consuming from those, in this case, Foltrex service, they would be perhaps much keen to apply in the next rounds, right, as an AI service. So do you guys give this approach? Do you sell this as a benefit for those that are join the hackathon? Because I see as a very nice approach to have as well as a benefit. Oh, you didn't make the top three and wasn't awarded as a hackathon, but you still can get the funding from the round because you are consuming services there.
Yeah, we definitely highlighted that point to all the hackathon participants, but we're also still in communication with them, with the follow-ups, paying out the awards and everything. So we definitely we're gonna put out another specific message regarding to this and inviting them to all put their service on the marketplace and definitely join the rounds.
Oh, that's great. That's great, because I see as a diversification from what we discussed the last topic on the ideation pool. So I see the ideation pool working as a pre-AI service step, but the hackathon, I also clearly see that it's also a pre-submission for the AI service pool, and perhaps even better, right? Because it's already consuming and being built on top of a service. So definitely something to sell.
And we are the developer outreach circle, and the whole point of the circle is to grow the community. So this is not a one-off. We want to bring a bunch of people in for hackathon and pay out prices, and then they leave the community. We want them to be part of our community and like keep engaging them and keep making them aware of the opportunities. So these people, only because the hackathon is finished, they're not lost now. They're in our community now. We have them in a group and we can constantly make them aware of other opportunities that we have. Anthony?
Yeah, thank you, Judith, for everything for the hackathon. It was really educative. I heard you say that you chose Fotrec. All this while, I thought Fotrec had some say in it. I actually thought they brought the 10K. But so I just want to know, like, what was the criteria for choosing Fotrec's tool itself?
Yeah, we had a look at all the services at the SingularityNET marketplace. And to be honest, the main criteria was that we needed a service that has a team behind it that was going to be able to be there during the hackathon time as a support team. And we had originally reached out to someone else, but they said there were some problems with the service and they also wouldn't be available for as a support team during the hackathon. So we reached out to a couple of services, and at the end of the day, Fotrec was the service who gave us the most certainty that the service is ready to be built upon, and also that could support our hackathon participants in the hackathon.
Okay, thank you.
Ishan and Andrea, if you have anything to add, please add it. But I feel like that was the two main reasons that we chose them.
Okay, thank you. And you're planning to do the same thing for the next hackathon, right?
I'm not sure if it's going to be the same thing. We really haven't thought about the next hackathon yet. We're still finishing up with this hackathon, whether or not we're going to choose another service that people can build upon, or whether or not we say, listen, just choose any service on the SingularityNET marketplace and build something useful, or whether or not it may be a hackathon partnership with a different hackathon organizer. We don't know yet. We just know it's not going to be the last hackathon.
Okay, thank you.
Nishan, please add anything you have.
Yeah, nothing really crazy to add, but our next hackathon, we've discussed maybe specializing on a certain RFP or two RFPs, which would allow for a smoother transition for these participants into deep funding. So we would like basically structure the whole hackathon around one or two RFPs from deep funding, be like build projects for this. We just want to see what you can come up with, and that would give us a better idea of what participants could then move on to deep funding. Like the winners of the hackathon can be like, this is what we have for this RFP, and then yeah, we direct them over to deep funding, and I feel like that would be a better process for the ideation phase than say people just putting in proposals and then us reviewing the proposals. Like they have a product we can look at and then say we would like to see further work on this project, or like a fully fledged idea, basically. I think that's maybe the next steps for our hackathon. We haven't discussed it too in depth yet, but that might be something instead of just building around a service that's on the hackathon or on the marketplace right now.
And by the way, Ishan and Riyad were on the team of judges. Ishan, I don't know, maybe you want to quickly say something about how difficult or easy it was to choose the winners. I feel like all the projects were incredibly well thought out and high quality, but you must have had I imagine you must have had a difficult time choosing the winners.
Yeah, it definitely was. It took Riyadh and I like a solid 4 or 5 days of like, I wouldn't call it arguing, but discussing. We were just like, we really like this project, and then Riyadh was like, I really like this project, and we were just going back and forth. And eventually we finally came to a conclusion, but it was a pain. Like I think everybody in the hackathon on our scale scored about an 80%, so 20 out of 25 points. So differentiating between these projects was very difficult. Like we weren't expecting the amount of quality and the amount of care that came out of these participants' projects, which was actually really good to see. But that made it difficult for us to choose winners. But yeah, it was a good process. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
That is really
Any
cool.
other questions?
I guess we have Jan.
Yeah, sorry. I was just triggered by that RFP thing. I'm not sure if I understand it. I like it already, even though I don't understand it. So this is not a critical question, but are you thinking about having the RFP creation being part of the hackathon, or is there already an RFP that people should apply to or something?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the RFP proposal or like the creation of the proposal. We would pick 2 or 3 RFP proposals and center the whole hackathon around it and be like, hey, we would like to see what you guys can come up with for this. And that I feel like that would be a lot more streamlined.
Yeah, yeah. I like the idea because it gives people some perspective on higher rewards. So a reward for a hackathon is limited, but well, an RFP also, but with a higher limit. So it could be a step. So yeah, good thinking. I like it. I also like the idea of having a number of times a year a hackathon on all the new services that land on the platform. I hope we will see an increase of services. Also, the onboarding is easier these days than it was, or it will be easier. So I also like that idea every half year or whatever. Hey, there's a hackathon on the new services, and also as a reference to the teams that have deployed the service and some extra marketing. But yeah, plenty of good ideas. So I love it. Great work.
Yeah, I think it was also really exciting for Track to receive this kind of attention and hype around the project. It was nice to see. I feel like they deserve it. They're an incredible team. And if we could make other teams feel as appreciated as well, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I hope it will inspire other teams also to
Yeah.
participate and even to get more in a hurry onboarding their services, because then they can also join the next hackathon. So
And as Track said in the hackathon finale, I think they were scheduling follow-up calls with a lot of the teams because they found it really interesting what they built, and maybe there's some partnerships going to be evolving out of it, who knows, or something else.
very cool stuff, guys.
Great thing to do to connect the community, for sure.
Yeah, and even for marketing of the services, I think is very nice. Many of the services will need a use case, something that they can be used for. So if you give incentives to create that, then people can build it, and maybe you can have even in the future adoption of some of these services, which would be pretty nice.
Yeah, you're right. In terms of marketing, it's great. Also for like the SingularityNET marketplace in general, just to showcase that these services have phenomenal real world application. I mean, it was a win-win-win for everyone, I feel.
Yeah, I think we should definitely think about maybe marketing these use cases and say, hey, this is what people built with with SingularityNET service, and maybe you can find something for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Rafael or Victor.
Twin brothers. Yeah, I think I am the most vocal person in DeepFunding's ecosystem to reduce the number of pools in our regular routes and during the voting and etc. I really think in my mind that have a reduced number of pools, it's beneficial because we can focus better. But having this hackathon in such a success and showcasing how important it is, I see the possibility as well, and again, just a possibility, that we nowadays, the new services pool, it also incorporates or embraces those projects or those proposals that are consuming services from our marketplace. But it's kind of under the rug, I would say. It doesn't receive the awareness that it should. So I see the possibility of having an additional pool in the regular rounds, specifically for the hackathons. Everyone that applied to hackathon, so it would be another benefit, because then we would have a specific pool considering funds for products or services that consumes through API call services on our platform, but in a more controlled environment than just opening to anyone that comes with any idea to consume services in our marketplace. And then we would have this new stream of a pool that we can fund services or products that consume API calls and taking out from the regular pool. So again, the hackathon would be an entrance door for this. Just an idea here that popped me in my mind, and it could also be sold as a benefit for those that are joining the hackathon, because they would go to a specific pool later where perhaps the competition would be less or something like that. Because it's very important to have consumers for our marketplace as well, right? It's not about creating services. So I see equally important into these two stakeholders.
I love that idea. You know what's so great about it? Because it will also motivate anyone who builds a service and puts it on a marketplace. It will motivate them to be like extra careful and make it extra high quality, because they know, okay, there's a team waiting to build with my service or to build on top of my service. Like, we better make sure this is working correctly, and it's live and it's updated and all of that. Great idea. Well done.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, I would ask, you already touched on it a bit, but I think it's awesome the work you did. I think it's especially cool that you got so many developers and also building on top of services that exist. Do you guys already have like a strategy or idea, or any ideas to like follow up with these builders? Keep like have a way to incentivize them, let's say, to keep building what they started in the hackathon, or what's the process there? Just out of curiosity, maybe it's not figured out yet because it's also the first one, but just picking your brains.
We do have a strategy. Maybe Andrea or Ishan, if you want to speak to it, we have the Andrea, what do we call it? The follow-up. We had a questionnaire and then the one-on-one meetings, right?
Yeah,
one-on-one meetings with all of them.
Yeah, the survey with the feedback, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can speak to it because I didn't put it out, so you have more information on the feedback survey.
Well, regarding to the question of Rafael, yeah, we will want them to onboard the projects on the marketplace, and we are working on that. Actually, Judith and myself are going to have a focus group with them to work it out, and we don't have the dates yet, but it's coming up. And regarding the feedback, well, most of them were really happy with the process. We only have like a few comments that we might look into to change a few things about organization. But I think in general, it was great for them. And we had like a really good team. Like, yeah, we team up really good. And yeah, that's like, I can share the results in another time if you wish, if it's in place. I'm not sure if that's just for us, but
yeah, no worries. We'll trust you to to take a look at those surveys and crunch that data and find the best things to do. Judith,
also, we all have them in the MetaMouse group, so we'll regularly follow up with them.
Yeah.
Especially before the next rounds and all of that, which will be soon.
Yeah, and a lot of them are part of the community already, and we are still in contact through email with the other participants or the other stakeholders who wanted to participate, but for some reason they didn't get to the process. So we will keep on sharing the updates and yeah, the new strategy that we are coming up with that Ishan just mentioned.
Yeah, very interesting, and it's like I think for many of you it was the first time organizing an hackathon, right? For many of you in the team. All right, and curious to know what were like the biggest challenges, because the way I see it, it sounds really hard. Like if someone told me you have to organize an hackathon, I'll be like, oh no, really?
I can speak to the non-technical challenges, but Ishan is going to have to speak to the technical challenges. So on the non-technical challenges, I think our first biggest challenge was finding the service and nailing down the topic, because we were going back and forth. We were looking at all the services. A lot of the services on the AI marketplace were actually offline. Some of them seemed to just not be very solid. Some of them we couldn't reach the teams. It took us weeks and weeks until we found the service that was going to be the service that we're going to be using for the hackathon. That was one of the challenges. Then the developers outreach circle is barely 6 months old. We all got thrown into this team. We never worked together before, and we really had to organize ourselves quickly and figure out who's good at what and how much can we rely on each other. There was a few people dropping in and out and a few people, I guess, quitting halfway through, so it wasn't easy, but somehow everyone always picked up a piece of what had to be done. Like it was overall great organization, I would say. We really managed to pull through. we had an issue with getting people on Mattermost, where there was an issue with the link. They had issues with joining the group. It took us a while to get everyone into a place where we could actually communicate with them. And there was, a few organizational challenge in terms of once everything got started and got rolling, it had to happen pretty fast at the end of the day. And we were figuring out a lot of the things on the go. Ideally, we would have announced all of the information and like the full information that we had beforehand, but we were giving them a lot of information on the go because we didn't have time to fully think everything through, because it was the first time and there was a lot of things coming up that we didn't expect. So in terms of communication, we probably need to do better next time. And that was the main things on the non-technical challenges. And I'm sure Ishan has something to share on the technical challenges, which I heard there were definitely some.
Yeah, there were there were definitely a couple of technical challenges. I think the primary thing was there was a problem with Photrec and the service initially, which meant that we had to move the whole hackathon a couple of days later or just postpone the hackathon. And eventually we got to a point where everything was pretty stable, but participants were running into an issue with Infura, which is basically the endpoint service that SingularityNET utilizes for the platform. It wasn't really an error from SingularityNET's side of things, but participants kept running into this Infura error, and they had to keep making new Infura accounts, and it was just kind of a pain. But now that we know that that might be a problem, it's hopefully going to be an easier time to resolve it for future hackathons. But yeah, that was definitely, there were a couple hurdles and pitfalls from the technical side, but eventually we got over them. People submitted their projects, everything was working fine. So yeah.
I think that's what mattered at the end of the day. And congratulations. I think you guys did a great job. You had like a lot of teams, a lot of people, a lot of teams delivered. And it was hard to choose a winner, so that's definitely good when that happens, when you have a lot of good quality proposals. So congratulations to Photrec as well.
Yeah,
And thank
Yeah,
you.
here we have Kenrick live. Hi, Kenrick.
Yeah, exactly.
You also want to say a thing
Well-
about the hackathon?
You know, despite the initial challenges, we actually got very lucky because we on December 4th, when I was on a flight, our certificates expired. And this is like, it's an annual nuisance, but I don't get the notifications the right way. I mean, it's not a process that we've kind of mastered in terms of getting those updated properly. So I was trying Thursday and Friday before the calls to kind of see what my account balance was. And I realized I couldn't even log into the services. Now, we did fix it. The certificates are updated, but I've had a busy week. So I still haven't had a chance to look, because one of the things on my end was sort of wondering how, did the payment process work? And were teams able to kind of transfer funds into the app? So I don't have insight into that yet, but I'm hoping to kind of close the door on that part of it too shortly.
Awesome. So I guess,
but I also felt like I was so glad it didn't happen while people were trying to actually use the service. Like everyone had submitted their reports by that time.
Well, that was awesome. At least that was good. And then we'll ask you for some updates, Kenrick, to know if it worked well or not.
Yeah.
But thank you as well for supporting the hackathon and participating with your service. Thank you. And another big thank you to the Dev Outreach Circle. Great job. And thank you and congratulations to the participants. Hopefully it was worth it and we can see them here in the community with all of us. That's really important for sure. All right.
Some of these services, Kenrick, will become real unicorns and it will make you rich.
We're still working on that part of it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We have some new innovations on the metric, actually. So we're actually we're still starting to shape what our future proposals would be, but one I'd like to do is actually a new advance on the metric itself that I think is pretty interesting.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
How was the experience, Kenrick, of seeing so many people creating new use cases for your service?
I think that one of the things that's been rewarding for us is I do think through SingularityNET support, we've become a much stronger team. So even though I was on vacation that week, I got feedback from Igor that he really appreciated and enjoyed being part of the support team for the teams. And I guess in the sense, like I did monitor the chat a little bit, but the fact that there were no issues with people actually using the service, to me was encouraging. And then I really enjoyed the presentations. In fact, I just got off a call a few minutes ago with Niels, who was the individual who did the weather forecasting work. Because one of our motivating interests for that tool is to try to improve weather forecasting.
All right. Sounds like it was very interesting and productive, I would say, overall.
Definitely.
All right, awesome. So once again, congratulations, everyone. Good, Jan, please clap louder. Ayo as a hand up. Ayo. You want to say something?
Oh, yes. Great job to the Dev Outreach Circle, Judith, Andrea, Sean, everybody. Amazing work. So I was listening for all the technical conversation to draw to an end, so I can ask, what is the plan to integrate the participant of the hackathon into the community? The hackathon is a very good, viable entry point for people, right? I mean, they interface with circle members like directly, and so even if they do not win, the fact that they've participated sometimes is I think that we should reckon that that's a lot. I mean, if you join Deep Funding community, you can attend 4 town halls and never really get skin in the game. But if you participate in a hackathon, you have really, participated. So is there a plan for that and things like that? Yeah.
Ishan, is that a hand up because you would like to answer?
Yeah, I can answer a few. Yeah, so currently the plan is to set up a separate Mattermost server for the hackathons and for other events like this, so that we can have a community of people that want to participate in further hackathons. And from the winners' side, from these hackathons, we will be attempting to onboard them to the marketplace, which means that they will be directly integrated into the community, for their service to be utilized by other people, for other developers to reach out to them to perhaps work on services together. But yeah, that's currently the plan, is for hackathon participants to have their own server, and then for the winners to be fully integrated into the community through the marketplace.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. So in the comment, Ubia says some of them were in the last town hall, some are even here. All right. So maybe we could hear from any one of them who is here, maybe their experience, their feedback. I mean, I think that would be nice.
Great way to put people on the spot. Then they will run. They'll run for the next time. I'm joking, but Ishan, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just saying, I think we have a couple. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but we do have 3 participants. If any of you would like to say anything, that would be much appreciated. Sorry.
Okay, I'll go for it.
Thank you for your courage, Emmanuel.
Yeah, so but basically I was just listening. Yeah, just being in and listening. I think we submitted the feedback, so most of our responses are in there. Yeah, but generally speaking, it was a great experience, and I think Sean talked about the inferior issue, which was more like the general issue. Yeah, and I think I mean one key thing is how we can project ahead on some of the projects because most of them have potentials. Yeah, and I mean with use cases that can be utilized, and also especially when it comes to the AI marketplace. Let me put it that way. Yeah. So I was thinking, I mean, there are some key of them that, or particularly most of them that shouldn't be left out because I've realized one thing about many hackathons. People just hold on it, leave it, rather than building an MVP project or some spring up being a startup. Yeah. So I like the idea that um, Sean was talking about that for the hackathon, getting prize is more like not a basic thing per se, but ahead there can be a pool to uplift some of these projects with market relevance. Yeah, so that's and most of them can have other improvements and I mean implements on how beneficial it can be to SingularityNET and other I mean let me say places. Yeah, so basically that's what I would say, and it was a great learning experience and trying to go through. I think one enjoying learning that I had was going through the 4-track metrics, how to get the robustness, yeah, and accuracy of forecasting. I think it was a great learning for me, honestly. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel, for having the courage and for sharing the experience. And congratulations. I guess you were on the winning team. So awesome. Well done. Great job. Please continue. Rafael, you have your hand up?
Quickly, because we need to jump into the quiz. Ishan, do you think that we are in discussions to create a specific instance in Mattermost for deep funding? Do you believe it would be, or we can discuss later as well, it would be an off instead of creating another one through the hackathons? So perhaps we can have this together under the deep funding instance.
Yeah, that would be
Lower
great.
head.
I just I think Jan brought up the fact that he didn't want participants that kind of join the hackathon but then don't really participate too much, I guess, or submit their projects to stay on them. I don't remember what the exact verbiage was, but there needs to be some sort of separation between the people that are actively involved with the community and other people that just join to join. And I think that's where it might be best to have a separate server. However, I'm sure we can discuss this more in detail.
Yeah, let's discuss. Perhaps it's a perspective thing. I already discussed this with Jan as well, but we can get back to it. As someone that is active today might be active tomorrow. That's the whole point as well, right? To have perhaps something that raises their interest appears in deep funding, and then they jump in because they are there. But it's up to discussion. Let's get to that later.
All right, awesome. So thank you guys. Congratulations on the hackathon. Rafael was mentioning a quiz, but I got informed in my right ear that the quiz will be for the new year. Guess we're having some technical issues with the quiz platform. Ayo, you're unmuting yourself. You want to say something?
No, please go ahead. All right.
All right. So yeah, it is good. It's good because you guys saw all the answers. So now you'll forget about it, and when we come here, you'll have a hard time guessing the questions. So that's really exciting. Judith,
By the
you
way,
also
I will share the quiz platform with you that I used in the last town halls, like a half year ago or whatever, when we did that, because prior to choosing that platform, I tested probably 8 or 9 different ones, and they were all so buggy. It took me a long time to find one that actually was properly working. So I'll try and find that name. I know that Mayor already reached out to me regarding that, but I didn't have the name on hand. So I have to like scroll back through my pictures and look at the screenshots that I took at the time, and then I'll send you the platform, which was working really, really well, I think.
Thank you. Well, that would be awesome. I think Ubio also set some platform, Kahoot. So guys, take note. And Judith, what do you think? Should we discussed a little bit before the idea of getting some words from the community here. It's a last town hall. Would be really nice to have you have some words about deep funding, which would eventually, probably, if we can get enough quality, be on our website. But I don't know, Judith, you think it would be a good opportunity to do that? Are you worried
We are
about the
still
quality?
looking for deep funding video testimonials. Some of you have said that they would like to send some testimonial video in. The idea here is to put a testimonial, like an edited testimonial video of a whole bunch of different testimonials from the community, and edit it together and put it on the website under the part where we introduce our community to the people that are visiting the website, and to show our faces and to show that we have an amazing, engaged international community that actually show their faces, because it's not very common in the Web3 world that people actually reveal their faces, but it builds trust. So ideally, you could send in a high quality video. It can be very short. It can be a few seconds. It can be a minute. Just saying something nice about deep funding. It could be, I like the community because of XYZ reason. It could be deep funding helped me to grow my project. It could be, I've learned something interesting from deep funding, or I just find it interesting to be part of the circle. This can just be one sentence, because we're trying to get a lot of testimonials. We could have you share in this call if you have good lighting and a good camera, because I guess the condition is that we are seeing your face properly. So if you have something nice to say, you could do it here since it is recorded, but ideally you would send it in filmed in a horizontal format with really good lighting and send it to me at some point over the next week. And again, it can be really, really short. But if anyone is here that wants to say something nice right now and they're okay with it being recorded on this call, then that would also help. But I would assume that most people prefer to think about it for a little bit and then film it at home. But if there is someone that wants to say something nice right now, please go ahead. The stage is yours.
Yeah. I was wondering, because it's a tough question. I know sometimes recording yourself is a bit weirder than just coming into
and
a Zoom and talking to...
Especially in our community, people do not exactly like being on video. And I guess most people don't like being on video, and most people don't like public speaking. So if you can film it in the comfort of your own home and maybe even have a script in front of you, it might be a lot easier. But yes, I will continue following up with people. I'm hoping that we can get at least 7 or 8 people. Right now we have 2 that actually sent something, and I'm hoping we could get to 7 or 8, which would be incredible.
Also wondering, guys, as you're here in the community, and maybe for anyone who hasn't speak, what do you think is easier, to come into a Zoom call and say a few words, or like recording your own video? What would you eventually prefer? What would you make you feel more comfortable? Does anybody here have something to say on that?
Making a video because it's an opportunity to do something really creative and cool.
All right, Kenneth.
To complement
awesome.
SingularityNET.
Yeah, well, if you want to get really creative, go for it.
You're gonna do some creative editing and stuff like that in the video?
Special effects.
Oh, yes.
Background effects, bombs exploding.
Yeah, lightsabers, sonic screwdrivers, 3D, AI, all kinds of cool stuff.
Deep funding made me badass. Look at me now. This was me a year
ago. Got a tattoo.
Look at me now. I love it.
All right, awesome, everyone. So don't forget about this call to action. If anyone wants to record now and say a few words, please feel free. Now is a good time. The town hall is the space for that, for you to talk. So come and be welcome. If not, I guess we'll wrap it up and call it earlier holidays for everyone. Kind of early holidays, because we do have open all ends next week, and that one is gonna be a little bit more focused on the holidays and saying bye to each other, because afterwards we'll be stopping with events for the holiday period for you guys to spend with your family, to enjoy, to take some breaks, and come back stronger at the beginning of next year. So definitely, if you guys can make it, whether you're in the circles or not, please come. Wednesday at 2 p.m. UTC. And yeah, we'll wait for you. You know, what should be a more chilled and just community-driven event. Anyone else has some last words? Anything you would like to add?
Yeah, well, thank you for 51 town halls.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great part from you as well. I think we'll start
Yeah,
off
I did the
before. I don't
first
know.
35 of them or something,
Yeah.
and then you guys took over. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah,
But
you've
yeah,
both done great. They've been terrific this year.
yeah.
Thank you. But also, I think AO is putting or has put out a survey with feedback. So if you guys think of ideas to improve the town hall, that's perfect. Send it now. We can go home and think about it during the new year and come back with like 10 resolutions of what we want to make, and probably won't. I'm joking.
And
Probably won't.
answering Yam's question or statement, Yami, as I mentioned, please go to the community.deepfunding.ai. There you will find how to contribute and what you can contribute with, crossing with your own capabilities and skills, okay? And not only you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, David Circle. Thank you, Dev Outreach Circle. Thank you, all of you from the community. You are amazing.
Love the passion.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next event on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
And thank you, Rafael, for hosting again.
Yeah.
It
It
was
was
almost
double.
as good as Io last time.
was very
Now
hard.
that I'm calling, now that my name is Victor, we can call him just Rafael, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
finally.
it was easy today.
And now we have two Victors.
Finally. I think we need to keep doing this, Rafael. You come with the Victor, and I'll be.
It was a
You
plan
will be
work.
the next Victor. You will be the next
Rafael,
Victor, and I'm
it
going
was
to
a
be
plan
back
work.
Rafael.
Rafael sent
We alternate.
Victor.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you
Yes,
so
guys.
much. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.